who brought you RuPaul's Drag Race and $1 Million Listing. This is World of Wonder's Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Hello and welcome to the Wow Report here on Radio Andy. I am Tom Campbell, Chief Creative Officer.
You are the Chief Creative Officer
of World of Wonder, and so happy you're joining us. And I'm joined this week and every week by James St. James, Club Kid turned best-selling author.
Put those dentures back in, baby.
And Fenton, our fearless leader, is away. He's traveling in Asia, and I can't wait for him to come back and tell us all about it. But filling his chair in his place today is a good friend of ours, a good friend of Wow's, a good friend of mine, entertainment reporter Marc Malkin.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Chief.
Oh, my God. We're
Hi,
so
darling.
I am off. You shouldn't explain your weaknesses, but I'm off today. I just want to warn everybody.
Your dentures
Yeah,
are off.
come back next week. I'll be on. We are coming to you live-ish from Hollywood Boulevard. We're in our new see-through studio here in Hollywood Boulevard.
It's very Today Show, yes.
Yes, except that no one stops and watches. And obviously you're listening to us on Radio Andy, but you can also watch us, see what we look like. I'm wearing a hat. On Wow Presents. It's the YouTube channel for World of Wonder. Lots of wows. And we're going to start the countdown, but I just want you all to stay tuned because I have one more special guest joining us. Bob the Drag Queen will be in the house, so don't go anywhere. But before Bob gets here, we have some serious counting down to do, starting with number 10.
Number 10.
And that's me. Now, a few weeks back, because James is stuck here every week, he really can't escape, I was complaining that movies no longer excited me.
Oh.
That Netflix had taken the place of good narrative storytelling, and I was over theater. Now, I have just seen the second in a few weeks of movies that have blown me away, and this week I saw
Baby Driver.
I shouldn't talk to him before. He's still in Baby Driver. Have you seen Baby Driver?
I have seen Baby Driver.
Have you seen Baby?
Okay.
Heated discussion. What'd you think?
Well, okay, first of all, I loved it a little bit. Ansel Elgort, I have some problems with. There's some stories out of him in Hollywood acting like a douchebag. There's I don't know that
I'm gonna interrupt you just to set up because Baby Driver is an action adventure car bank robbing heist movie, right?
And music.
But set against the inventive thing about it is it's all set to music that Ansel Elgort, who's playing Baby Driver, who is I think very cute. We'll talk about him, but it's not just he's listening all the time to music.
He has some tinnitus because he was in an accident as a child.
And let's just talk about that. They mentioned the other very famous person who has that little condition.
Who does?
Barbara Streisand. I love that they even mentioned that in the movie.
I thought they were going to say William Shatner. I believe William Shatner.
I knew they were going to say
that
Barbara.
beeping and thing, Barbara Streisand. But so it's a thrilling ride for me because he actually choreographs his own driving scenes, which is spectacular.
He's a getaway driver for some criminals.
Yes.
Led by Kevin Spacey,
who plays Doc. Jamie Foxx plays Bat. John Hamm plays Buddy, and a new actress I hadn't seen her. I think it's Ieze. I'm so bad with names. Why am I? Ieze Gonzalez is darling. Beautiful, and she and John Hamm are in love and making out the whole time.
And also, Sky Ferreira plays his Ansel Elgort's mother in it. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Yes. So that's sort of a fun little thing.
And it's directed by Edgar Wright. What did he do? He's in a lot of things.
He did Shaun of the Dead and all of those movies.
This is
very quirky.
I haven't seen any of those movies. This is new for me. He wrote and directed it. It is a visionary piece. You have to admit that. It's like someone's vision come to life. And Ryan Heffington, who we know, the choreographer.
Yes, exactly. Who started the flash mob scene back in the early 2000s.
He was on a season of Drag Race as a choreographer. He's amazing. He does lots of things. He does those Enzo commercials. And he choreographs this because there's scenes of this kid with his headphones on. You know when you put on your headphones? I'm not a big headphone guy because I like to inflict my music on others. I like to play Captain Neil.
We've noticed
really
that.
loud, and so everyone has to listen to Captain Neil. My sister's anyway. So it's gone back a long ways. But he's walking and life comes alive and the music makes everything better. Did you like his performance or are you dishing him because he has a bad reputation in Hollywood.
No, I
which, by
like
the way,
him.
You do too.
Yeah, I liked his performance. I don't know that it's very believable that this like 16-year-old kid is this the most famous getaway driver in the world, whatever. But I liked the fact that they integrated the music as beautifully as they did, almost as well as Guardians of the Galaxy did. If you think about it, the way that the song is the songs are integral to the plot.
Dude.
I have to say, I think Ansel's so cute. He's like 6'4", by the way.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. He's
And his
very
father,
tall. His father is very famous.
Is a very famous Vogue photographer from the 60s and 70s.
know.
What's his name? Something Elgore.
I think it's like Henry or something like that.
Snappy. Let's call it Snappy.
But his performance is really good. I just love. So his name is Baby in the movie.
Yeah.
And I love when people say to him, "What's your name?" He goes, "Baby, B-A-B-Y." Like,
Yes.
so
I'm Baby.
Elvis.
I'm Baby. It's very Baby.
He's a man of few words.
It's very much like, remember Drive with Ryan Gosling?
Yes.
Yes, it's like Drive, but on steroids.
Yes.
It's got that same sort of
the
plot.
The car chase scenes are. It's so ridiculous.
And
obvious,
yes. But I don't like car chase scenes.
I like them.
This
I
movie
like
is
them.
so cool.
good.
I'm not a big fan of Jamie Foxx, and I'm not a big fan of Kevin Spacey, so it was hard for me to watch
So
this.
half the movie,
yeah,
you really
Did you get a free ticket? Why'd you go?
I love John Hamm, and I have a yin yang sort of like push me pull me relationship with Ansel because he is really cute, and there's no disputing that.
I am going to go on the record saying this is like a Tom Cruise risky business breakout role for him.
Yeah,
Because he's sexy. He does wear Wayfarers, so I'm being very literal. But also, they have him like in a T-shirt and jeans with his boxers just showing this much. It's like such.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yes,
I
but it's exactly, but it's all studied in a beautiful way, and he's sexy, and he falls in love in the movie with a character, Deborah, who's played by Lily James.
who's so adorable.
Who was Lady Rose in Downton Abbey.
Yes,
and Cinderella.
And she's lovable, and the cameo, just because talk about old stuff, is Paul Williams.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, so funny
He
out of
plays
the
the
blue.
butcher. He's like this tough guy selling them guns,
Yeah.
and he of course wrote the Evergreen with Barbra Streisand, who has
Oh, maybe that's why.
Tonight.
That's
There you go.
So this
Ding,
movie
it all comes
actually there were
wrapped
all
in a
these
bow.
Barbara Easter eggs throughout the movie.
yeah. And they're talking about making a sequel. Good
It's
idea
a-
about it.
yeah.
We'll
it
find out.
totally.
It can be
lined
like
up for a
Fast and the
sequel.
Furious. It can be 7,
Yes.
8 of them. Like
Yeah.
It's a good thing. Like Fast and
And-
Furious, I think is sort of the mainstream way of doing this kind of a movie,
Right.
and this is kind of the more of the
But
indie
it
art.
could become
Yes.
if it just keeps going and revving up.
Yeah.
See what I'm doing there?
Oh,
Oh.
wow.
But the good thing also about Ansel's character, he really has a heart. And he's doing horrible things because they're robbing people and murdering people, and he's the getaway guy, and you're sort of like, why are you the getaway guy? Because you never get that explanation, really,
Right.
of what happened, why he had to do it.
Yes, you do.
no.
He stole the car of Kevin Costner
Of
and had
Kevin
it.
Spacey, but
yeah.
never
Yeah.
And then
That-
Kevin Spacey
Catch-
finds if it gets
finds
Sims,
him
and they
made
have
him pay him back
it's
for
like
stealing the car.
But it is. I mean, it is sort of a formula movie, but in between the formula turns
There's all this little
is this soul. It has a soul. This movie, because I don't like
But
action
he's
adventure
also
movies.
taking care of his foster dad,
Yeah.
who, in a twist of things, is deaf.
which
So
is
he can
also
hear the
a little
music,
bit.
which is pretty amazing.
You're
It's a little
so
bit
deep.
like what's the movie with Ryan Reynolds where he's the burn
Deadpool.
Deadpool. It's sort of like Drive meets Deadpool, because remember Deadpool was taking care of Leslie Uggam.
Leslie Uggam.
Yes, and so she was
So-
blind.
yeah,
It's in
Yes,
this guy's
and she
deaf.
couldn't remember the lyrics. The spring is busting out all over. It's a whole other thing.
Anyway,
All right,
Leslie Uggam, like
we,
solid gold.
we have to move
Solid-
on.
solid
So,
gold.
one thumb up,
Yes, for sure.
another thumb up, two
Another
thumbs
one,
up.
yeah.
I
And
have a
thumb.
sideways thumb.
All right,
Okay.
2.5 thumbs. We have to move on to number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9, another just, oh my God, really cute kid, okay? I went to go see Spider-Man Homecoming, and I did not want to see it. I fought it.
Why are you going to movies are you lonely? Do you
don't.
need the air conditioning? What's going on?
I'm so lonely. I'm so sad. Oh my God.
Because I haven't seen it. Have you seen it? Spider-Man
Yes.
Homecoming?
Just saw it.
Well, see, first of all, I loved the first one with Tobey Maguire. I loved those two. I was not on board for Andrew Garfield.
Oh,
I
I was.
could not get into it to save my life. I don't understand why we keep rebooting this every 2 years.
That's what's just weird.
It's a
just
little
very
bit like
strange.
Greek
But
plays
you
or
know what?
Shakespeare,
But
where
you know
you
what?
just
It's making money. That's the thing.
That's why they're doing it.
And I kept thinking to myself, oh my God, do we really need another origin story? Like, it was just like to see the. But we went, and it's not an origin story. It picks up 6 months after he becomes Spider-Man. So we've sort of bypassed that little bit right there. He's back in high school. This time, it's a kid named Tom Holland who plays him. He's playing him as a 15-year-old. Tom Holland is really.
They keep aging it down. It's gonna be like baby Spider-Man soon.
No, but he does. He talks a little bit like this.
Really?
Yeah, and he's like plays it as like a young, just like
very naive,
but very naive, just busting out, just is so excited to be Spider-Man. It's really adorable. I don't mind drooling over him because he's really 21 years old in real life.
Good.
So I was able to because I felt a little awkward being like the lonely old man in the audience, like in a ski full of kids.
No. I've interviewed Tom, and if you watch my interviews. And okay, I got calm down. Mark.
I can see it. I can see it.
And he has an English accent. He's English.
I was also a little bit upset about Michael Keaton being in the movie because Michael Keaton is Batman, DC, Marvel. It's like have some brand loyalty. I did. I'm sorry. I was a nerd. I nerded out on this thing. But how dare you leave DC to go to Marvel and play a bad guy? You're Batman. I was very upset about it. It really upset me. What did you think about it, Mark?
And then there's the wings, and he was Birdman, so there was
oh my God, exactly. Would you just stop being redundant?
What I liked about it does hit you a little over the head that it's very inclusive.
Oh, right, because Zendaya plays the love interest. She's
Zendaya
adorable.
Plays the love interest. That there's a mystery if she's Mary Jane, though, because in the movie she's Michelle.
Right.
But then maybe she's Mary Jane, but I don't want to say anymore because I don't want to spoil it. And then there's this other young woman who is the first love interest, with the girl he goes on the date with, and her parents are someone, and white father, black mom.
Everyone's represented.
His best friend is of like some sort
Asian,
of Asian descent or something like that. So it is. It's nice that
Marissa Tomei
is Aunt May.
I know they keep younging her down too.
Yeah, no, but I have seen in some junkets where people have been mentioning this, and they're saying Tom Holland says, this is just what high schools look like now, and this is just so it's true. Nobody in America is going to blink twice about it because you don't have to have
but don't we want to make America great again like it was?
No, too soon. But when the casting was first announced and Zendaya was announced, and everyone assumed she's Mary Jane and love interest, blah, blah, there was, those trolls on Twitter and whatever. They went.
That's not what Mary Jane looks like.
Yeah, blah, blah.
But anyway, just to sort of tie it all up a little bit, he's absolutely adorable in it. And I didn't didn't think we needed more Spider-Man, but I guess we do. And I loved me some Tom Holland.
I can't put a thumb into this guy. I didn't see it. You say thumbs up?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Yeah. We should make this a thing. 2 thumbs up. Great. We can make a show.
Even though nobody can see this because it's on the radio.
My thumb is up.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. Marc Malkin, what do you have at number 8?
Number 8.
Andrew Garfield is kind of maybe not gay.
He's gay without having sex, right?
Here's the thing. So Andrew is in Angels in America in London, getting great reviews, so on and so forth. He does a Q&A afterwards during one of the performances, and they talk to him about preparing for the role, and he goes on, and he's talking about, Peter Staley, he's talking about surviving the plague and all this research he did, and then he's joking about how he watches RuPaul's Drag Race.
God bless him.
And he said every Sunday night while they were prepping for the play, he was watching RuPaul's Drag Race. He said, so I'm gay, just not without the physical act. It was in a very jokey way, but then
people lost their damn mind.
You take that sentence.
Right, and it got picked up.
Put it on the internet.
Right, the headline is, Andrew Garfield says he's gay, but he doesn't have gay sex. And then all these people. I mean, I put it on. Okay.
Liberal people, gay people.
Fine. Everyone who knows me knows I kind of love Andrew Garfield. We have a very great relationship. Tom knows the story.
He knows these people.
I'm going to tell, this is a good wow story.
Go.
You know the story.
That's why you're here.
So Andrew Garfield gets nominated for an Oscar last year, right? So I do a telephone interview with him, to get a reaction. And we're talking, oh my God, you got Oscar nomination, blah, blah, and we have this very funny relationship. And all of a sudden he goes, wait a minute, we have to stop. I'm like, what? He's like, I just saw you on RuPaul's Drag Race.
I said, remember when Mark was a reporter on Drag Race?
Season 2 and then All Stars. I was like, Andrew, you just got an Oscar nomination. He's like, I can't believe I'm so close to a challenge. So he's an ally. So everyone's at the time going, oh, he thinks he could be gay just by watching RuPaul's Drag Race. That's not what he said in any way.
He is a good friend of WoW. I don't know if you remember just a couple months ago, he got on stage with Michelle Visage and was lip syncing. He got into partial drag and was lip syncing to Whitney Houston.
I don't know what we're gonna do.
Yeah, so God bless him. We love Andrew, and it is just one of those cases where people are cherry picking a quote, taking it out of context, and
so we're not forgiving him. We're letting him off the hook. He did nothing wrong,
he did
right?
Nothing
no
wrong.
big deal.
And here, I'm a little guilty in the sense of, I put it on my Facebook and I just wrote discuss.
I saw that,
and people did, and I realized.
I hate when you do that. No, I hate anytime people don't fall in line with my way of thinking. I'm like, why did I post this?
Right, and that I was like, I honestly, when I read it, I did not think it was controversial. Like I was like, discuss, like, oh look, Andrew's being cute again.
Yes.
We love Andrew. Everyone knows I love Andrew. This is another reason to love Andrew.
You've got to
And
pause
people
before you react.
Right. How dare you think you feel the oppression? I'm like, okay.
We were attacked for it on the WoW Report as well. Recently, there was another thing where Nico Tortorella has been giving a lot of interviews, and Nico's somebody that we love here at WoW, and people have been attacking him, saying, you don't know the struggle. How dare you, appropriate
how
our
does
culture.
One person say they know someone else's
So
struggle?
I say take a breath, everybody.
Yes.
Let's just love these people who are our allies and our friends.
There's
Total
probably
ally.
15 things that we've said in this first segment that, taken out of context, or even in context, could destroy us online.
That's the story of my life.
But we are your friends. We are your allies.
Yeah,
in these times, I think, it's awful to have an enemy in Trump, but it does define, like, Andrew Garfield is not the problem, right?
Right.
No. He's not the enemy.
The guy
All
who's
right.
starring in Angels in America
Yeah.
in London.
Yes.
It's not the
story is,
problem.
yes. All right, we have to take a quick break. Before we do, Mark, I don't think we told you this, but we do a little pop quiz. A little trivia question.
Am I being quizzed?
And you're being quizzed, but don't give us your answer until
Okay.
after the break.
Okay.
Okay. Which Spider-Man Homecoming cast members previously dated in the 90s? All right. Think about that, and we'll give you the answer, and we'll keep counting down when the WoW Report continues on Radio Andy SiriusXM.
Well, I know. Yeah.
You're listening to World of Wonders WoW Report.
We're back. It's the WoW Report on Radio Andy SiriusXM, here with James St. James, Marc Malkin, our very special guest, entertainment reporter who knows all the stars. Before the break, I asked a little trivia question, which is, which Spider-Man Homecoming cast members previously dated in the 1990s?
Well, I'm going to have to say it's Tom Holland and Gwyneth Paltrow.
Tom
That's
Holland.
funny. That's really
Gwyneth
funny.
Paltrow. Interesting.
Tom Holland. Yeah. I'm going to say Marissa Tomei and Robert Downey
Oh,
Jr.
that's probably it.
Ding, 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 ding. Mark is correct.
Yeah.
I knew it was either Marissa with Robert Downey Jr. or Michael Keaton.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. I forgot
That's
even
okay.
Michael Keaton was in it. Okay.
This was Blake's question. Hi, Blake.
Hi.
When do I
Hi.
win?
It's a good one.
When do I
Nothing.
win?
Bragging
Zero,
rights.
Zilch, nothing.
They were also
You
your
can't
water?
really, even if you're bragging. Yeah,
going.
today we have one bottle of water.
Marissa Tomei and Robert Downey Jr. also starred in the 1994 movie Only You Together.
I remember that. That was a good movie.
The internet is a really educational tool.
There
Or was
one
that
in
Christian
Italy,
Slater?
wasn't it?
And when, but back in the Avengers movie, like when Spider-Man was just introduced, Robert and Marissa have a little scene together, and I think maybe he talks about how sexy she is.
Oh.
So, there you go.
Okay,
I
all
didn't
right.
see the
Little
chemistry, but-
inside scoop. All right, we're going to continue with the countdown of the top 10 things that made us go wow with number 7.
Number 7.
I love throwing to myself. Now, I'm going to mention an artist that probably is going to tee off James, and it's one
I'm already angry.
Macklemore.
Oh, that's
has
Why
a
does he
new song called Glorious, which is catchy, but what makes it amazing and what filled me with the feels, hello John Hill, is the music video where he surprises his grandmother Helen Schott. Is that a grandmother name or what?
No.
And it's her 100th birthday. She's a sweet little lady with so much spirit. She has a little walker, which she uses sometimes, it doesn't. And he takes her on this like anything you want to do, Grandma Day. And it's a little contrived, but it's so beautiful.
I mean, they're egging houses.
They-
It's like
yeah.
egging a next door neighbor's house.
They jump in a gold, like, 70s convertible, which is so sexy, and they egg a house. They buy some shoes, and she ends up getting, are 350s Yeezys or something? Is that?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, I
think there's
didn't
some
catch that.
Yeezys.
Yeah.
I watched it several times. And then they karaoke, they go to an arcade, and they skee ball.
They go wig shopping.
They go wig shopping at
There's your RuPaul
at,
Drag Race
at a
moment.
thrift shop. Don't make me have to sing. And he gets a tattoo that says Helen.
Yes,
Which would have been so cool if she got one, but she didn't. And then they go back to the house, and it's all of her like old lady card playing friends, and it's a surprise party. I'm spoiling it, but you're
And
gonna
the
see it, you're
surprise
still gonna
party
cry.
has a
fireman stripper.
who literally gets upside down in a 100-year-old woman's crotch and starts like lap dancing her face.
And Macklemore breaks it up, which is the worst part of the video. It's like that could have gone because the ladies are having fun.
Yeah.
I just love watching. They were old ladies. I just love when women are around strippers, they giggle, and when men are around strippers, they're just like
I
staring
giggle.
straight
I
at
think,
You mean straight men?
straight men.
Yeah.
I guess.
They don't giggle.
I giggle and then I go I get the private.
But I always
dance.
find it very weird that, like the other day, I was going past a stripper place in New York,
Sure.
and there's a bunch of guys, presumably straight, all in suit and ties going in. I'm like,
At
you're
lunch
just
or
gonna
something.
No, it was like after work, and like you're just gonna hang out with your straight buddies and look at strippers. Very
It's so strange. It's very strange.
Straight people are strange.
I went to a bachelor party once with a bunch of straight people from college out here after college, and we all went to a strip joint, and it was kind of wild because it was the cute guys, and they were all kind of aroused. Nothing happened.
Right.
But I was around people that were all worked up. I mean, although, you know what? Maybe as gay guys, we have it easier because I flipped through my Instagram in front of like straight guys and they're like, what is that? I'm like, they're all shirtless guys in underwear showing their butt. And like as gay guys, we get to have that and no one thinks we're exploiting men. But he said, as a straight guy, if I had pictures of women with their boobs and thongs, I would be considered
I also think
misogynist.
that as gay men, we spend a lot of time around strippers, around male strippers and go-go boys, much more so than straight people do. Because I know that every night of my life, I end up, getting a lap dance or shoving dollar bills and thongs somewhere.
Right, and also like when you're a straight guy and you're with your girlfriend, you're with a woman, you're not going to go to a strip place. But guys, we gay guys, we just go to bars and there are strippers.
Sure.
Every night, yeah.
The go-go boy explosion.
I do have to say that,
Talk about Macklemore.
I know as
What's
cute
your
as the
problem?
no, it's just that every damn song sounds exactly the same. This could have been Thrift Store. It could have been any other
I get
song
what
that
you're
he
saying.
ever did.
He's so
Can I
cute,
just give
though.
you the Sade defense? Every song Sade's ever done sounds the same too. You just have to pace out the albums. Every 5 years, there's a new Sade
And you throw a
album.
100-year-old in there,
Yeah,
and it
you
makes
gotta
it
stuff.
diverse.
I was just home, visiting my family in New Hampshire, and my Aunt Hazel, who's 90, who's sweet. I mean, the grandmother has such a great spirit. There's something about people that live that long who are still, they just have such great attitude. She seems to be having such
And
a fun time.
it seems genuine, like the love between
Right,
them.
yes.
Like,
yes.
by the way, the grandmother's not played by Betty White. It's a real 100-year-old woman.
But in the movie. All right, so that's Macklemore's, what is called Glorious. See the video, and let's move on. James St. James to number 6.
Number 6.
Number 6, I have a coffee table book, which always does really well on the radio. I'm so glad that I decided to do this. It's called King of Style, Dressing Michael Jackson. It just came out. It's this really gorgeous, fabulous book.
Show it to the camera over
Show
here.
the oh, yeah, I forgot we do have cameras now. It's the designer who worked with Michael Jackson for 25 years, Michael Bush, and his partner, Dennis Tompkins, they worked with Michael very, very closely on all of those really iconic looks. And they're all in this book. They were talking about how there are basically 7 designs that they do variations of throughout
7
the
kind of profiles.
Seven profiles, 7 different types of looks that they would do different things. And they talk about how Michael would work with these guys and he would call them up at 2 in the morning and say, you've got to turn on TCM and watch Yul Brynner in the 10 Commandments, and I want that breastplate that he's doing, but I want it with little boys on it or something, or you know what I'm saying.
Crystals. He wanted crystals.
Yes.
But he's
wanted
talking
a
about
disaster.
how most of the looks, there was like military garb, there was fencing gear. He was obsessed with fencing gear. He was watching baseball, and they had those leg pads. He started wanting those in every different types of medals and everything like that. He was obsessed with Renaissance doublets. plates. And so there was a lot of those that he did, and he would send them all. There was one time where he called them at 2 a.m, and he said, "You're getting on a plane in an hour and a half. You're going to the V&A in London because they're having, at 8 o'clock in the morning, they're starting this Renaissance, medieval armor show, and we want you to check out the shoulder plates on these, and I want them for the next video."
Imagine having that power, just calling someone, "Go to a Renaissance fair. I want shoulder pads."
And so he was very, very specific, and it was usually like a silent movie that he had just seen, and he said, "I want the belt buckle that's on in 2 hours and 10 minutes." Like he knew exactly what he was talking about, which is something that you always suspected about Michael, that he had
they weren't just going to throw a jacket on him and he'd be like, "Okay."
Yeah, he really had a real working knowledge of Hollywood and medieval, and he was always doing this.
It's all fantasy.
Yeah, I have to say that you let me flip through the book, and I wouldn't have thought of him as a style icon. I know it's stupid, but but it's sort of like, oh, he's a joke, or the glove. But you look at it,
iconic.
Side by, and it's iconic. It's beautiful. It didn't Beyonce at the Super Bowl a few years ago come out like in an Michael Jackson look?
But also Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga actually owns a lot of his. I was once having lunch with Lady Gaga. I'll just throw that in there. And I was telling her about the time that this is a very long story and it's too long for radio. But there's a long story about how I won tickets to the Jackson Victory Tour, blah blah blah. And she's like, "Well, I own a lot of Michael's clothes." And when he died, she bought a lot of them. And there was a piece that she wore during her Super Bowl, like his actual piece, not inspired by his.
That's good that way.
But when you think about it, Michael Jackson was one of the first people to really understand the branding and the iconography of these clothing and how they telegraphed. Like even if it was just a day outfit, he only wore it once, and he made sure that it was photographed. But it was like military to show the power.
I mean, could you ever look at a silver glove and not think Michael Jackson?
Right. He knew that the art and the power of the branding of like just the one one visual image that would stick with him forever and ever and ever. And so he really understood that in a way that modern pop stars have since taken on. But at the time,
they try to force it. Yeah, they try to force it. Like his just seemed, but there weren't many people like him. Now it's every pop artist, it's a factory behind them trying to figure it out. Blah, blah, blah. So Lady Gaga comes along and it's like, oh my God, it's actually someone who's original.
Yeah.
But it's also because it's what he was doing was not fashion. It was that old school, like Barbra Streisand, Ethel Merman, like those people like Liberace who would have their own specific looks. Yes. And that's what he was taking.
It was Michael Jackson couture.
Yeah. All right. I love it. James, thank you. It's called The King of Style, Dressing Michael Jackson, available, I guess, on Amazon. Is that where you got it?
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Marc Malkin, our special guest. Let's move on to number 5.
Number 5.
We are talking about the emancipation of Kesha.
Of
praying. Our praying video is phenomenal. It's amazing. Her voice, people don't realize that Kesha has a voice that just hits notes, that has so much emotion. Backstory, we all know about. Kesha had accused Dr. Luke, big producer, of sexual harassment, sexual assault, big legal battle. He's always denied it. And this song basically is saying to him, I hope you're praying for your soul. I hope you're praying to change. She said that it's basically, she wrote in the Lenny letter, the Lena Dunham website thing that she has. And Kesha wrote that it basically was her way of sort of taking it back and feeling for the person who could hurt you. It's almost like a forgiveness thing, but she didn't say forgiveness. But it's really, really powerful. It's directed by Jonas. I'm not going to pronounce his last name right.
Ackerman. Yes, he says amazing videos.
Madonna, Taylor Swift, like everyone.
The Ray of Light and a bunch of other stuff for her.
Smack my bitch up.
Exactly. So it's really powerful. Her voice is so
She
strong.
hits that one note up there that is like, who knew that she had that in her?
I went to an event. It was probably in the last 2 years. It was an animal rights event. She's a big animal rights person. And she actually sang It Could Happen to You, which is Gaga's song. And it was like you just sat there and you couldn't help but cry. And obviously it had a lot of meaning for her.
That's what Gaga sang at the Academy Awards, and it's about...
it was Gaga's song that she was nominated for. It's about rape. Yeah. So Kesha, it's really amazing. The one little thing that threw me off a little bit...
That's why we're here. We have to set the record straight.
Was at the beginning. And she's saying things like,
It does go on a bit in the beginning.
At the beginning, she's like, why am I still alive? I should be dead. And it's just it's just like a talkative narrative. I'm like, just get to the song.
Yeah,
it was just we got it from what her story is from the song. We didn't need.
She
I
filled
don't
in the
need
blanks
that
a little
late
bit.
80s, early 90s, whereas every music video is a 10-minute, like,
Right.
yes.
Yeah, but her voice. So her new album's coming out in August, Rainbow.
And is she still with her record label?
So that's
'Cause that was part of the
what's
whole-
all very
yeah.
confusing. That she said that she couldn't put out new music because Dr. Luke was stopping her. So this song comes out, everyone goes to Dr. Luke and says, "Oh, what do you think? Because we
Right.
think this song is about you." And he puts basically out this statement that says, "I allowed her to put out this song.
Oh,
she
he
still
just-
owes me. So I'm the one who gave her permission, so she can't say that I didn't let her release music." It's really torturing. It's really gross. But you know who guests on Back to Wow?
Who?
Dolly Parton is on the new album.
Mark is the world's biggest Dolly Parton fan, and we actually did an art gallery show in this gallery 10 years ago.
10 years ago we
That-
decided.
Dolly Pop.
That was Dolly Pop, all Dolly
Mark.
Parton inspired art.
You know, it's so fascinating, though, that Kesha, who was, I mean, not the most beloved person 5 years ago, we really, we appreciated her, we got it, and everything like that. But now, since this whole Dr. Luke thing, she's really like our Judy Garland. She's like, we love her because she has suffered, and now she's come through it. And she is, like, really, truly, like, a real legend now, and I can't love her enough.
This morning, her video had over 12 million views. It just came out like a few days ago. 12 million.
Wouldn't it be great if this new album was just amazing and set her on a whole new trajectory?
Yeah, and you
I
want her,
mean,
you want her to
listen,
take, to do well.
This single is, saying, hey, this could really take off. I've talked to people who've heard the rest of the album. I'm like, is it going to be a big seller? And they said they think so. Not so much that people are, oh my God, I need new Kesha music, because it's been 5 years since she's released anything. But it's just her story. Her story is so strong, and people want to support her. So
Yeah, I really feel like she's our girl now. Like, we really need to
hit
take
those
care
notes.
of her.
Our girls can hit those
Check
notes.
out the new Kesha song and video, Praying, and her album, which is coming out in August.
Rainbow.
All right, we have to take a break. Before we do, a pop quiz, and it's Kesha and Dolly Parton related. Are you ready?
Okay.
Kesha's mother, P.B. Siebert, wrote what song that Dolly took to #1 in 1980? Hold your answers. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Wow Report on Radio Andy, SiriusXM.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report.
We are back. You're listening to the Wow Report on Radio Andy, SiriusXM. I am Tom Campbell. I'm here with James St. James and Marc Malkin. I couldn't be happier. Hi. We are in the middle of counting down the top 10 things that made us go, wow! Before the break, I asked our Dolly Parton obsessed friend Marc Malkin, and you're a big Dolly fan too, Kesha's mother, P.B. Siebert, wrote what song that Dolly Parton took to #1 in the year 1980? James St. James.
I can only think that 1980 is Islands in the Stream with
That's
Kenny
what I
Kenny
thought.
Rogers.
That's what
but
I
that's
thought.
probably not it.
Or maybe no, but I think Dolly wrote "I Will Always Love You."
Oh,
She did.
did
Yeah, 'cause
okay.
I think
Okay.
Islands in the Stream was 83.
Oh.
Blake, our millennial producer behind the camera, sweating his everything off. What is the answer to this pop quiz?
Well, the answer to the pop quiz is Old Flames Can't Hold a Candle to You.
I don't
Flames
even
Can't
know.
Hold a-
That wasn't
I
a
do know
hit.
that song.
That was
That's
number
no.
number one
Country.
country.
Well, she country
You're
artist.
making this shit up.
It was
I
number
don't-
one.
A
And
bitter
it's-
group of people. I take back what I said earlier.
It's actually the song that Dolly Parton is featured on Kesha's new album.
What?
Oh, so she does a cover of her mother's song of Dolly's song.
Circle. Yes. That's really good.
I think they should come in studio right here and perform it for the studio.
Maybe
audience
we'll
out
let them do
there.
it on the street behind
For the
us.
throng
Blake,
behind us.
You stumped the panel. Good job. And now
I'm so sad I got
you
stumped on
learned something.
Dolly.
It's good. You can take it. You can do it with your boyfriend tonight. All right. Now
Husband.
we're moving on to #4.
Number 4.
Tom Campbell, what do you got? Well, thanks for asking, Tom. I want to talk about the new Tesla 3 Series.
Oh God, we're getting all heterosexual here.
From
What?
baby driver
It's
to
an electric
Tesla.
car, for God's sake, for elites. But that's going to be $35,000. It's going to be more than half of what, like, Fenton has the Tesla S or whatever it is. He's had 2 different models. He's loved them. We've been in them.
I've driven it actually.
What?
I did. I did. They let me do the self-driving feature.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh,
No,
so you
I'm
weren't
sorry.
driving. It was self-driving.
Yeah.
Here are everything you need to know about it. It can. This part I never understand. It can accelerate to 60 miles in under 6 seconds, which I guess is good.
That means in 6 seconds you hit the pedal.
I
and
know,
in
but
6
what does that
seconds,
mean? I'm always like
it
late.
goes fast.
Yes, it's fast. It's $35,000, and it can go 215 miles in one charge.
That's amazing.
That's supposed to be
I-
good.
That is
that's
amazing.
another
Do you have an
one.
electric car?
I have an electric car.
It goes
and
3 miles on a charge.
So it has it has gas reserve, which it's not a hybrid. Basically, if the battery runs out, the gas kicks in, but
Right.
the car can't go that powerful. So how they sell it to you is they're like, oh, you could go 80 miles on a charge. Yeah, 80 miles on a charge. You don't have the air conditioning on. You don't have your radio on. You
Right.
don't have your iPhone plugged in.
And you never brake.
And you never brake. And you're on the lowest speed possible. So,
How far do you get?
I mean, I've gotten down to the gas reserve just because where I used to work, I would plug in my car and I didn't have a plug at home. Now I'm in a new house and you just plug it into the outlet,
To the
which
wall.
is so weird. So now it's like it's always charged.
But
So,
how-
but I wouldn't go to Palm Springs in it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know people who've gone to Palm Springs in a Tesla and they have to stop and charge.
And I always thought you drove an electric car,
No,
but
no.
it's like you have the smart car.
I have a little smart car that
It's been
and-
personalized.
by Kenny Sharf. Yes.
Like one of those little like
Teeny
car
tiny, it's
games.
like
Yes.
a little clown car because it's got like
It's
monsters
like
painted all
minier than
over
a
it.
Mini or Cooper.
Yeah,
Mini
but
Cooper.
I love it because it's $25 worth of gas a month that I put in, and it drives forever.
Could you go on
It-
a highway with it?
I do. You can. It goes up to 100 miles an hour. I've driven to Palm Springs. There is a part in when you're going to Palm Springs where there's a wind tunnel
Right,
that
yeah,
happens,
yeah.
and it almost tips over a couple times. But if you
Because
just,
I had a Mini Cooper, and anytime I was near a big truck, it was like.
yeah, I do have to like weight it down on the passenger side.
Well, let me continue with this new Tesla, because it also comes equipped with a new suite of sensors that can support full autonomy. 8 cameras, 1 radar sensor, 12 ultrasonic
8
sensors,
cameras for?
and a new supercomputer that, you know how, which means that as the technology improves, it can be a self-driving car. So it's built in.
So good.
And you know how it
Thanks,
has that full screen in Fenton's fancy
Yes.
Tesla? This one is this way. So it's even better, right? So it's good that way. It's designed to have 5-star safety, so that's supposedly good. And I told you about the tablet thing already, 15 tablet. And they're supposed. This is the big wait and see, which is, you know, as many as they've done, and I've lost the numbers, but the luxury Teslas, there's only so many of them, and they kind of like there's always somebody, sorry, Fenton, in the parking lot fixing Tesla's car, you know, fixing Fenton's car from Tesla. But supposedly they've got 100 new service centers, 350 repair vans that come to you, and 1,400 new technicians to support, because they're trying to, like, they're worth more than GM, but they make like a handful of cars. So this is the way to go mainstream. I may think
it is very sexy.
It's
They're
very
very
sexy.
sporty.
And it's
And it's very like little WeHo boys. You can see them all driving this.
Yeah,
they're kind of like gay muscle cars.
Oh, I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
without the
very
steroids.
WeHo.
So I am considering, supposedly if you sign up now, you can get one in 2018. So I'm considering.
See, I don't know. I don't like buying things that far in advance. I went to buy a chair the other day at CB2, and they're like, you'll get it delivered in October. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to like it in October.
No.
Okay.
You need to satisfy the itch right
And
then.
yet you're in a long-term relationship. I don't get it. I'm sorry, we have to move on now. James St. James, what do you have at number 3?
Number 3.
Number 3, I saw Okja on Netflix, which is
Okja. It takes me so long. OKJA.
OKJA.
It kind of looks like Ouija.
Yeah, exactly. But it's absolutely spectacular. It's going to win all the awards I predicted coming in the Emmys.
It's a feature film
It-
on Netflix.
Yeah, it stars Tilda Swinton as sort of a Trump descendant. She's sort of an older Ivanka Trump, is
Okay.
what she is. Her father is a despot who destroyed the country, and she's like trying to sort of come up with some ways to rehabilitate her image, right? And what she's decided is, this is sort of like, the world is very bleak and depressing at this point. She's developed these big pig hippo hybrids.
Like how big?
Super
big.
super big,
Super
super
big.
big.
Horse big or
you-
bigger?
like elephant big, like hippopotamus big.
hippopotamus.
Yeah,
They look like
hippopotamus big.
hippopotamus,
And
yeah.
they're going to feed the world. They're these brand new hippo pig hybrids, and they're
All natural.
all natural, and
Are they
super
kosher?
smart. No,
Probably part of it.
So they've given them to 9 different people across the world, and the idea is that they get 10 years to raise them, and then they're going to bring them back after 10 years and see who has the best pig,
And then feed the world with
and
it.
feed the world with the pigs, right? So what happens is one of these pigs is taken to South Korea, and a little girl grows up with this pig, and they become best friends. And it's sort of like Charlotte's Web a little bit,
Yes.
where this pig, this super smart pig, and the girl, and it's absolutely adorable. It's this beautiful sort of parable. It's a fable. It's a fairy tale for the first half hour, 45 minutes. Then they come to take the pig back to New York and put it in. She doesn't want her best friend to go. Well, suffice to say that it sort of goes from Charlotte's Web to 1984 with a little Food Inc. thrown in. Okay, it gets very dark.
There's like PETA
very
activists.
quick. There's PETA activists. There's like a Greenpeace like organization that's trying to help her get the pig. There's a scene in the what is it, where they kill the pigs, the slaughterhouse, where it is one of the most harrowing scenes I've ever seen on TV. It's by the director of Snowpiercer. I don't know if you saw Snowpiercer. He's a Korean director. His name is Joon-ho Bong, and he's absolutely fantastic. He does these sort of surreal fairy tales it's unbelievable. Tilda Swinton, absolutely adorable. Jake Gyllenhaal plays the TV host. Is sort of an odd
Animal Kingdom. He's
yeah.
a little overacts.
Sorry,
Jake.
No. But I really want everybody to watch this because it's something that will stay with you. I was texting Fenton at the time saying, "Oh, you've got to have Nolan watch this before you go to Asia. It's so beautiful." And then about 20 minutes later, I was like, "I don't think Nolan needs to be watching
It
this."
starts sweet and it turns really dark.
It turns
It gets dark
very,
and
very
violent
dark.
and like dark themes. By the end of it, my husband was like, "I'm not eating meat anymore."
Yeah, it
Until we
has
went to
that
a
effect.
barbecue the next
Like,
day.
it really does. It will turn you into a vegetarian, and I'm the biggest meat eater you'll ever meet.
See, it will
But-
turn you into. I got what my husband was saying about being a vegetarian, but like these pigs were like, they're like CGI, like they're cute and they're adorable, and
Right.
the pig's really smart. Like when the pig saves the little girl from falling off a cliff, which
So
was
good,
really
so beautiful.
Yeah,
I
I
cried.
like how you said like it has this whole fairy tale at the beginning, and then it gets into this whole like dark world. And Tilda Swinton is getting like. She's basically getting caught for not doing the right thing because they say it's like GMO free and organic and blah, blah. And then she has this evil sister who she's taking the company over from. And the evil sister comes back to take control.
But
So
the
like Tiffany
interesting
Trump.
thing, the interesting thing though, is that they are all speaking, and everybody in New York is speaking in Trump speak.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a very clear allegory.
The first time you see Tilda Swinton, she's coming down the stairs just like the escalator.
Mm-hmm.
But the best part is she has braces.
yeah.
All right. If you want to be charmed and then grossed out and never eat meat again, go to Netflix and watch Okja.
Okja, yeah.
Me again. All right.
Is it
Is
Okja?
it Okja? I don't know. Okja.
A lot of the movie's actually in Korean.
Yeah.
Because the whole first half is all in Korean.
But don't let that throw you off. It's
has subtitles.
spectacular.
Turn me
That's
off.
subtitles.
Okay, back. All right, we need to move on if that's okay with everyone.
Yeah.
To number 2,
Number 2.
Marc Malkin.
We've got Emma Stone on the cover of Out magazine.
What is Emma Stone doing on the cover of Out magazine?
She-
She's not gay.
But she dated Andrew Garfield.
And she is an ally.
And
That's
she's
true.
playing a lesbian twice in 2 movies in a row. But this is the first one. Battle of the Sexes, playing Billie Jean King, tennis legend, lesbian.
Which is one of those things because when they at first announced it, I thought there is no way in hell Emma Stone is going to be Billie
Well,
Jean King.
originally it was supposed
But-
to be Brie Larson. Then
which
Brie
would-
Larson had to, for some reason, had to leave it. Became Emma Stone, and a lot of people did have like Emma Stone. She doesn't.
But when
look
you
like
see her on the cover, it's amazing.
They talk a lot about how like she became the spirit of Billie Jean King, and she really, when you're watching,
Have you seen this?
I haven't seen it yet,
Okay.
but the trailer, you really do get the spirit. And basically, the backstory is it's a big tennis match in 1973, Battle of the Sexes. Her and Bobby Riggs, who is this chauvinistic pig. Talking about pigs, who basically said that women belong in the kitchen, they can't play sports. I'll beat any woman.
And he was late in his career, and she was in the prime of her
Right.
career. And he's
Billie-
like, I can
and
still
Billie
beat
Jean-
her.
And she had also she had just been became a very big activist for equal pay for the genders on the U.S. Open. So I don't know sports. Anyway, they got some more money. And he challenged her to a match.
Wait, now
And-
both of you remember this because I think I was a little young at the time.
Yeah, I was a little young. I was-
But
we
how
were
much
all
of it?
young at the time, James.
But how much of this was like wrestling, where Bobby Riggs was he playing it up?
I
Was
think
it,
he
was it a
might
role?
he
have
was
been a
playing
little
it up,
bit.
but he was a miserable son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, it's not a spoiler alert. Billie Jean won.
Yes, but it was the ABC. It was like when there was like Muhammad Ali
watch.
would have his wrestling matches. I mean, his boxing matches, and they were huge. It was Battle of the Network Stars. It was a big. Or when Evel Knievel used to take his rocket over. It was an event.
When
the whole country.
When it happened, it was the
everyone watched it.
Was this the same year of the Nadia Comaneci? Was this
73?
73. Okay.
73.
Or
so, but the one thing a lot of people think Battle of the Sexes is just about that. What it actually is, it's more about the love story about Billie Jean, and she falls in love with, I think it's her hairstylist, who is the woman who eventually outed her. If you remember, during she asked for.
So not only did she give her that god ugly shag haircut, she outed her, bitch.
Yeah, and
how does Emma look in her shag?
Emma looks good in the shag and the big glasses. She's on the cover of Out magazine with Andrea Riseborough.
From WE, right?
With
Duchess of Windsor, yeah.
Madonna. Yeah. So she plays her lover, and she's talking about how like she saw Emma, and then Emma went into training for the movie, and she said like she saw Emma 6 months later, and Emma was like completely ripped. Like Billie Jean was training her.
Yeah.
To be a tennis star. So everyone's saying Oscar nomination again for Emma.
Good, okay.
And then she's playing a lesbian in her next movie.
And good for Emma, but I have to say, Billie Jean King, having lived through her life, even though she was outed, she came out early. She was outed early, and she has been, along with Elton John wrote Philadelphia Freedom in '76. You know that song? Yeah. It was for Billie Jean. Like,
I didn't know that.
Yes, so there was this camaraderie, and they're very close. And she's done a lot for women, lesbians, but women in sports. My sister played basketball in college, and her first year was like 1981, and they didn't have like a locker room at Boston College. By the time she left, she had a full basketball scholarship. But the 70s and early 80s were a tremendous time for women's sports. We can't even imagine the conditions.
Well, it's interesting because Billie Jean actually interviews Emma and Andrea for Out magazine, and they're talking about the equal pay and how blah blah blah. And then Emma actually talks about how even now today she has male co-stars who take pay cuts. So they'll have equal pay.
Yeah.
She didn't name who, though.
Find out more about this fascinating movie and Billie Jean King. Pick up a copy of Out Magazine or read it online. And we're ready to take a break. When we come back, we have saved the best for last.
I'm so excited. There's
going to be someone sitting with us who you all know from RuPaul's Drag Race. America's Next Drag Superstar. Season 8 will be joining us as we tell you the number one thing that made us go wow, and also reveal the Resistor of the Week. Don't go anywhere. You are listening to The Wow Report on Radio Andy, SiriusXM.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome back to the Wow Report on Radio Andy. We have been counting down the top 10 things that make us go, wow! And the number one thing is sitting right beside me.
Number 1.
Bob the Drag Queen.
It's missing.
Number 1.
Well, my stand-up comedy special, Suspiciously Large Woman, will make its cable debut on Logo TV on July 16th on Sunday.
Tell us a little bit about the special. How did it come about, and what is it?
Well, these are my views on celebrities, drag race, and white people.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So
do we come off okay?
What about the celebrity white drag queen?
I don't even talk to them. The celebrities, I don't really trash anyone. I just give my silly opinions and my ideas and on politics and growing up in Atlanta, living in New York City, the whole nine.
And when was it recorded?
It was recorded in Atlanta, Georgia, where I'm from, and it's kind of like Bianca's special, but it's really funny.
Bianca Del Rio, winner of season 6, has just been shaded here on the Wow Report.
And it'll be playing on Logo all month, is it? Or
well, I'm not sure how frequently it'll be airing, but I know for sure if I know Logo, it'll be every 10 minutes.
In between Mama's family.
Exactly. But it's gonna start on Sunday, July 16th.
Well, also at the Outfest, we have Cherry Pop was something that played. It's a movie that you're in, as well as Tempest du Jour and Detox and Latrice. Mm-hmm. What was that? Tell me about that.
Also Misty Violet and Illusia. Well, this was years ago. This underage kid used to sneak into the Stonewall and beg drag queens to be in his films. And we all said no 1,000,000 times. One day I said, sure, whatever. I had like 3 Red Bulls that day. So like, whatever. So I did his show, his student film, and then later it was funded to be a full-length feature film. And that's why we're here. His name is Asad Yaqub, Assaad Yaqub, who's a good friend of mine now. I stay with him whenever I'm in LA. And he also did my Purse First video and my Purse First, the Purse First collection, the purses. He did all those commercials. He's brilliant.
Pretty fabulous.
And he's really a real interesting Hollywood type. He's like a kid from Dubai who drives a Land Rover and has like a lap dog, and he has like a lot of tattoos. And he's like a true interesting Hollywood type.
And he hung out at Stonewall and was just waiting for you to say yes.
Literally. It's like, be my film. I was like, okay.
And now you're staying on his couch.
Like, now, exactly.
And there's other friends of WoW Outfest this season.
Todrick has Behind the Curtain.
Yes, which I'm in as well.
Oh, you're in that too?
I'm
Oh my God.
So basically, the film festival about you.
Queen of Outfest.
Bob,
I guess.
Drag Queen Film Festival.
And also, my movie Freak Show is closing the festival Sunday night. Yes, so it's a lot of friends about a lot of wild.
So if you're in LA, go see your film in person and DVR and watch immediately Bob's. Special on
exactly.
Logo.
Suspicious, or as Kim calls it, suspiciously large woman.
Suspiciously large woman on Logo, Sunday, 8 p.m.
Yes.
7 Central. You should plug so much better.
And if you're Pacific, we're not even worried about you.
Bob.
8, 7 Central. You Pacific people, fuck off. Can I say fuck off?
Oh, yeah.
Yo, please.
Say it again.
Fuck off. Or I do my new voice and go, fuck off. Like, fuck off.
Do you ever watch T.S. Madison on the WoW Report?
Yes, of course.
When she gets to the drive-in thing, she's always like, let me try my voice. She's like, hey, I would like a Diet Coke. Would you, by the way, I think WoW Presents fans watching now are dying for you to have your own WoW Presents series. Is that a possibility?
Well, I'm going to shake the world now.
What's going on?
I have me and my assistant and creative partner, Luis, also known as Bob's Assistant. That's his Instagram handle, Bob's Assistant. We are working on a web series now called Bobbing Around, which is us filming ourselves around the world and talking about our shenanigans. It's a completely non-helpful travel show that will teach you nothing about where we travel.
Oh, my God.
But you'll know what
Are you
Luis likes to eat.
But are you a little nervous, what about Eve? Like that moment.
Oh, is she a
Bob's
star?
the assistant.
Would you be Bob the assistant's assistant at some point? Is there a possibility that it would go there?
You know, I'm just trying to make work. So if he gets more payments than me, and that's the way I gotta start working, bitch.
It's a good attitude.
I gotta do what I gotta do, Hanny.
Bob, thank you so much for joining us this week. Before we end, we always like to call out the resistor of the week. We'll make it quick this week. I'm going to say the resistor of the week is Donald Trump Jr.
What?
Who would have thought that Donald Trump's demise, the crack in the armor, would come from the inside, would be his own stupid son opening up this whole Russia collusion
When you really
thing.
think about it,
Yeah.
It makes sense.
It does make sense. Anyway,
Thank you,
Also,
Donald.
what a horrible
Trump
name
Jr.
Donald Trump Jr. is.
Thank you for tuning in. And remember, until we meet again, go out and do something that makes the world go
Wow!
Bye.